Hello. Can you hear
Hey,
me?
you're right. Today we are rejoined. Hmm. I don't know which is better, but we are with the quite amazing Imogen Wolff. She was with us probably September last year, so it's really nice to have her on again. This time now as a pro rider, she's for the Visma Lease bike um, team, and we get into all the details on that.
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Sorry about that. I don't know what was going on, but yeah.
No, it's all good. I was actually recording the intro, just getting that sorted, just as you
Oh,
joined. So that
sorry.
was quite amazing timing. I just very quickly round it up. And this will be the cold intro that goes before the actual episode. But anyway, you know the usual spiel, so I'll just get straight into it. So as not to waste your time, how's it going?
It's good. Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Yeah, enjoying like getting back into the swing of things and get back training after off season. So yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Yeah, it's like everyone's had the same idea as you because like everyone's Insta story is like, oh, just trading, and everyone's in Girona. I'm like, what's going on? Because like every cyclist and their mum is in the Girona at the moment. Although, well, I say that are some of the British junior lads there, like Seb and is it Luca? Yeah, because Luca marked it as G Town, and then when you click where that
Yeah.
is, it sends you to Nigeria. I'm like, don't
Oh,
think he's got the like,
yeah,
yeah.
like quite right. Yeah, no, there's lots of Brits in Girona at the minute, which is nice actually. But yeah, I mean, it makes sense, like good weather and yeah, good cafes. So yeah, no, there's lots of Brits here, which is nice. And it's nice to so many people to ride with. So yeah, that's definitely a plus.
Yeah, and how does it feel to have like this kind of first preseason as a pro? Like, are you approaching it any differently from how you would any other preseason?
No, I mean, it is like quite different. Like, obviously, I think it's a lot more pleasurable to be able to just ride your bike. I'm not having to stress about like college and A levels and fitting like all that in. It was basically fitting training around life, whereas I feel like now it's like fitting life around training, which is yeah, it's nice and you feel so much more well rested coming into like key sessions because yeah, you can just like focus around that, which is nice. But I'd say like on the whole, approaching it pretty similar. I mean, I had my off season a little bit later this year because Worlds was just later. It wasn't like that Super World, so it
Hmm.
was like October around August. So yeah, it's meant that like I've had to push my cross season back a little bit, to start a little bit later, just to try and find some legs before I actually race. But no, like I'd say pretty similar. Like yeah, just slowly increasing the volume week by week, and we started properly structured training like I say like a week and a half ago. So not for yeah that long, but it's been really nice to be back on the bike and back in the routine of it.
Oh, it's good to hear that you're going to be doing some of the cross season. What's your kind of focuses for that
Yeah,
coming up?
so I start in like a week and a half in like the quarter I can put like double
Hmm.
weekend. And my focus will probably be probably be Worlds at the end of the season. That's the one that we get our own U23 ranks for. But I'd say just in general, just yeah, it's my first season as riding most of the elite races. So yeah, I think just trying to adapt to that, like step up to the level. I mean, it's going to be a big jump. I'm not like naive to that. So just trying to have consistent races, consistent results, and also avoid getting ill, which is always a big thing for me. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting started.
Yeah, and I guess in a way, are you going to have a change of setup? Because obviously last year you were racing for Trinity for cross. Now you're with Visma Lisa bike, and you know that they've got Mariana Voss who does the cross normally. Um, so now they've got two people to worry about, and you potentially share a paddock and an RV and all that with literally the goat in terms of women's cycling. Like, does that change anything for you? Does that add pressure or does it make it easier?
I think it definitely makes it easier. Like even like little things like having the bus there, so you can have a shower after course recce, and yeah, I mean, I think being around riders like Fem, on the team is
Of
just
course.
going to be really cool to just try and be able to absorb and learn as much as possible about her professionalism and her pre-race, post-race. And yeah, we have things like an off-road coach that's there on the course and helping you figure out lines. So yeah, there's so many little things that I think will help. And I don't think there is pressure, to be fair. I've got the team are very conscious and stressing to me that I've got 3 years. I don't have to make that jump back to the top straight away. And they're not expecting me to. So yeah, it's nice that it's a really low pressure environment where I feel like I can just learn, but also, make mistakes and have the room to play about and find what works.
Oh, nice. And obviously, we've talked a lot about the team so far, but like, what made you pick them over, any of the other teams that were presumably interested? Like, it'd be foolish of me to think they're the only team who ever wanted you. Like, if you just look at your Palmares, it's like, well, she's going to be a great rider. She's great at cyclocross. She's got good TT legs, so she's certainly got an engine. Um, and you don't win Binder for free. You've got to be seriously talented to get that in, get a W there. So yeah, what made you pick Visma over any of the other teams that were interested?
Yeah, I mean, it is difficult. Because at the time, everyone is telling you that they're brilliant and they're the best and you should go with them. But I think it was just gut feel immediately, from the first conversations I had with them. It was just, yeah, I just felt like it was going to be the right place for me. Their approach or their mindset and also the riders in the team. I think there's a really good mix of young riders also like me and also as you say, the really, really experienced riders that you can learn so much from. I like the cross setup, the fact that they are really positive for the multidiscipline. So not only for the cyclocross, but they're also happy to support the track as well. And it just felt like the right place for me to, really develop. They've got a really scientific view and approach to things. So yeah, it just felt like the right place from the get go, and it just clicked. So it was an easy decision in the end.
Oh, that's awesome. And yeah, like we mentioned Binder just a second ago, like how did you feel going into that race? Because I'm guessing it was like one of the first big races of your final year. So do you go into that year like all stressing about getting a contract? Had the contract even been signed by then, or was it everything happening after going to Italy? Like,
Yeah, so there was definitely conversations happening. I was speaking to the team since October,
oh
so
wow.
yeah, a long time. But yeah, everything was still pretty undecided, still up in the air. I definitely hadn't signed the contract yet. I mean, I think there was the element of pressure. You feel like you have got this year to get these results. But I don't think it felt like that going into Binder, especially because it was the first race of the season. You don't quite know where your form is. You can tell so much from training, but you also don't know what level everyone else is at. And you've also got so many opportunities down the line later in the season. So yeah, I think it was more just excitement to get the first race under the bell, and yeah, I knew I was going well. I think every athlete can tell in training when they're with the numbers and also the feeling. But yeah, I think just a mixture of excitement and obviously nerves. There's always nerves. But yeah.
Oh, nice. And when you made the attack, did you go, "Oh yeah, this is gonna stick. This will be the win," or were you just like, was it in hopefulness? And when did you start to believe in the victory?
Yeah, it was more just covering the French girl. There was a French girl that went off the front, and yeah, the French race super aggressive. They're always one teaming each other, so we're pretty conscious that if there was a French rider up the road with no GB jersey, then yeah, we'd be in trouble. So it was more just covering her move, and then yeah, I bridged up to her, and all of a sudden I was on my own, and then I just thought I'd have a good go, and then maybe after a lap, I had a solid gap, maybe 2 minutes, and I was like, well, I've just got to commit to this now, and yeah, see if I can hold it to the end. And it came down quite a lot. There was a moment with maybe 15K to go where it was maybe 20 seconds, 30 seconds. So it came down a lot. It got pretty close. But yeah, by that point, I was all in.
Oh, nice. And obviously, it must have felt really good to get that victory. And And obviously seeing your best mate get second, like, can't hurt either. And it's quite a, as we've discussed before, it's quite a pairing you've got. I even thought, like, thinking ahead to like the Tour de l'Avenir in like a couple of years' time, GB are going to be able, like, assuming things stay roughly the same, GB can pick Zoe Backstead, Izzy Sharp, yourself, and Kat. Like, if there's a team time trial in that year, like, I'd be scared because I joke that like being Dutch is almost like a cheat code for cycling, but like that GB team feels a little like almost too good.
Yeah, no, I mean it's really cool that I've also got a best mate that's so into it and has also, yeah, got some pretty sick results. And yeah, we're like a pretty similar point in our timeline, so it makes things really nice that you can sort of, yeah, step up to pro together and have all these same experiences and yeah, share and talk about it together, which is really nice. But I think, yeah, like Lavinia seems like quite a while away. Yeah, I want to step up first and see where I sort of slot in. But yeah, definitely we've got some talent in the UK at the minute, which is, yeah, really nice to see the girls coming through, especially like the younger ones as well. And yeah, throughout the whole program, I think like it's a testament to all the people at British Cycling and the clubs and everyone that runs the community that, yeah, athletes are coming through because it's because of them, you know?
Yeah, yeah, the grassroots is hugely important, and that domestic scene helps the pros thrive. And without it, people kind of become pro in spite of it rather than because of it. And it'd be a real shame to see it go. Um, and yeah, it's kind of funny that you said you've got like similar trajectories because obviously you both debuted as pros at the same race. Um, and how was that as a debut for you? You know, because you get to step up and it's like immediately for the women, it's always, oh, you're no longer under 18. Oh, okay, then you're pro now. You're full elite level, no under 23 for you. Like rare scenarios like Tour de l'Avenir, but by and large, it's you're no longer 18. Well, you must be elite then. That's the only option. So how did it feel going like, oh, I'm going to be against like all these top level like Tour de France stage winners and all sorts?
Yeah, no, I mean it sounds silly, but I think the race was such a small part of the weekend. You know, I think like for me the main thing was like, you know, meeting the girls and meeting the team, and it's crazy how little you as an athlete actually have to do. Like you only have to get on and pedal your bike, and to go from being a junior and doing most of like the nutrition yourself and making up your bottles and like the mechanics and all like the soigneur duties and the planning and the de-essing, like everything is on you. And then yeah, you step up and all of a sudden there's a person in every single role who's sorting it all for you, and it makes life so much easier. But no, like the racing itself, I think it would have been quite easy to like get in my head, but at the end of the day it's like a bike race, you know. It's very different, but it's also quite similar. I mean, I still have a lot to learn, like even like dropping back to the car. When they say drop back to the car, they don't mean drop back through the convoy to the car, they mean wait at the back of the peloton for the car to come to you. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of learning there and a lot new with like the radios, for example, and things like that. But that was where it was really nice to have such good teammates around me. You know, like I couldn't go 5 minutes without one of my teammates coming up and being like, "Okay, like have you eaten? Have you drank?" All this sort of jazz.
Mhm.
So yeah, it was really nice, and I felt like I slotted in the team pretty quickly, and yeah, the vibes were good, and so I think that's the most important thing. And yeah, it was fun. So
Yeah, because I was thinking about it, like my brain would have gone, drop back to the car. Oh, great. And like slam the brakes on, just go as slow as possible so that the car can get to you as quick as
yeah.
possible and not like use the peloton for as long as you can
Mhm.
to get that kind of quote unquote free energy. Um, so what are your, I mean, this is quite a large question, but what are your ambitions as a pro?
Yes, I mean we could get our race calendar in December. So I think that'll define my ambitions for the first year. But I mean it's cliche, everyone says it, but I really mean it. I do just want to step up and learn. Like I think you can't underestimate how big that jump's going to be. Like I think I'm quite conscious of that. But I mean, I think in 3 years' time, 4 5 years' time, I want to be yeah, have maxed myself out basically. I want to be the best I can be, and if that means that I'm winning races, then yeah, that's the dream, you know. Like, yeah, I think I also want to figure out like what's my specialty, you know. Am I
Hmm.
like better at the Ardennes? Am I better at the classics, the one days, the stage races? Like elite racing is so different to junior racing, the length and the distance and everything. So yeah, I just sort of want to work out where my strengths lie with the pros.
Yeah, for sure. And like you say, wins. I'm like immediately. I think when you made your debut, I made a bold prediction. I was like, next year she'll get a win. Like I can see it easily happening. I mean, no pressure now. But I'd hate to look wrong. Um, but no, I genuinely can see it happening because you've got like you've shown from Binder that you can win in that sort of race, and you can win from attacking. You can also win, like time trialing is a huge strength of yours, from what I can tell. Um, I would like to touch upon that and like your performance at the Worlds because I remember seeing and even chatting to you briefly afterwards, and you said like you're quite disappointed with it. Um, has that changed in the time since? Like, obviously, there were external events that possibly change how someone looks at racing in general. I don't want to. This isn't really the place to dwell on them. But obviously, the most sincere condolences to Muriel's family. But equally, like, how did you come out of that weekend? And yeah, has that changed since because of the passage of time?
Yeah, I think people were pretty shocked with how disappointed I was. Like, I had loads of people messaging me, like, you know, are you crazy? It's a bronze medal. But I think when you don't see like all the work that goes into it, and yeah, I mean, I wasn't going there hunting for a particular result. You know, I wanted to do my best ride, and yeah, on the day, I didn't do that. So yeah, I'd say I'm still, yeah, the feelings haven't really changed. I'd love to say I've reflected and I'm now really proud and happy with that ride, but yeah, that'd be a lie. That's just not the case. Yeah, it wasn't my best ride, and I think yeah, you don't get the opportunity to go to the worlds in that sort of form and that sort of condition a lot. And yeah, I sort of let that opportunity slip through my fingers a little bit, but it's just going to make me work harder and yeah, look for those opportunities again for sure. And I know you mentioned L'Oreal, but it does just put it in perspective. You know, it's just a bike race, and yeah, a girl lost her life in that race, so it's yeah, the balance has got to be right, I think, and yeah, as you say, sincere condolences to her teammates and her family. And yeah, it's just a terrible tragedy.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, One question, I don't want this to sound flippant at all. Given the
Mhm.
circumstances, would you still feel disappointed if you'd won the race? Because, as you said, it wasn't your best performance. Had that performance been enough for gold, would you still have felt, oh, I'm still disappointed that I didn't put my best out there?
Mm, maybe I don't know. I don't know because I've not like been in that situation.
Of course.
And there would probably still be an element of disappointment. Just because, yeah, like I just completely panicked. I just completely lost my head, and yeah, you never want the mental side to let the physical side down. And on that day, it did. Um, but then again, you don't speak to many people that are disappointed when they've got a World's jersey on. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's true. And obviously, time trialing, like, it is so much about the mental. Like, half a
Mm.
battle is actually enjoying time trialing and turning yourself inside out. Because I was like, I was half good at it, like, but no standard at all. I could get a decent position, smooth pedaling, but half the time I was like, this hurts. I should probably stop actually. Um, and time trialists are
Yeah.
kind of those psychos who go, this hurts. I'm going to keep going. Um,
Mm.
it is time trialing. I've bigged it up as a huge strength of yours, but how do you genuinely feel about it? Is it something that you want to be the best of the world at, or is it just another string to your bow?
Yeah, I mean, it's weird to sit here and talk about time travel as a strength because a year ago, like, it was the biggest weakness in my cycling. Like, I was shocking at it, you know. Like, if you look at like my And in my international time trials, I'll have been maybe like 40th, 50th when I was getting like top fives in the road races. But I think like anything, you've just got to practice it. Like I wasn't practicing it, and then I was wondering why, yeah, I wasn't spending any time on the bike and why wasn't I getting the results. But yeah, I think so. Like I definitely want to see like where I can go with it. Like I've not been doing it for so long. I'd say maybe since like yeah, March of this year, maybe I've been riding my TT bike consistently. So yeah, like with more time and more practice and the positional work and everything that goes into that, I would, yeah, I really want to see what I can do. Yeah, that excites me.
Oh, awesome. Well, yeah, what I know you said you want to learn and grow as a cyclist, and that's your kind of big ambition for your first year pro. But if you could pick one race to definitely have on your calendar, and who knows, maybe the directors at Visma Lease Bike are listening to this. Who maybe they are, maybe they're not. Who knows? But like, if you could just pick one race and you don't get anything else you want, but you only get that one race, what race would it be?
I think it. I think it'd have to be Paris-Roubaix because I think watching Lizzie Deignan win there was when I really fell in love with cycling. So I think just because of yeah my personal history with it, it'd have to be Roubaix. Even though maybe that doesn't quite suit the ride type I am, maybe I'd like it to be a little bit hillier. Um, yeah, it'd have to be that just because of the history and everything that surrounds it. Yeah.
Yeah, it is one of those iconic races. It's gutting in a way that when Lizzie won, we didn't get to see her move because it just wasn't televised. It was like, well, we'll show you the last 80K where she's already gone and flown the coop, and it's like, well, great, cheers. Um, oh, this year the women's race was uh I mean every race has been amazing that the women have done, like the Ali Jackson win when the breakaway just stayed away and it was like 10 seconds for like several kilos, and then the 6 up sprint with Lotta winning ahead of like Pfeiffer getting third. It is just huge.
Yeah.
um yeah, it is. Every race I think for the women have been hugely exciting, and no offense, but quite a lot of offense towards the men's. Like that this year was boring because like Mathieu went and that was it. Like, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Like, might as well get some washing on, I suppose. Like, it literally
No, I
like,
mean, yeah, yeah. I mean, to be honest, I don't really watch the men's racing. I only watch the women's racing. I think especially because it's shorter, like the action's like condensed and it's just so
mm,
packed in, it's just so good to watch. And yeah, I definitely think it's yeah, just such a spectacle and so good to watch.
yeah, and also like for the women, the cobbles start almost straight away. Like the men, they've got a long
Mm.
way from Compiègne to get to any cobbles, whereas the women, it's like, oh yeah, they're like 2K from the start. Like, knock yourselves out. Um, and I'll be honest, women's cycling is better. Like, I prefer watching women's racing. Although it kind of feels weird, like going, oh yeah, I watched the women's race. I didn't bother with the men's. Like, it's
Mm.
so like backwards compared to what most people say. It's quite nice and refreshing though. Um,
Mm.
because like yeah, we went to watch the cross in Derby, and it's like I only went to see the women's. Like, I didn't bother staying for the men's. I was like, didn't want to see it. Like, so yeah.
I
Um,
play, yeah.
and so final question as always, just in case people haven't watched the first time we chatted, like how can people keep up with you? And I guess how can people keep up with your new team?
Yeah, I'd say Instagram. So I'm Imogen.Wolff on Instagram, or if you want to follow the team, you can follow the team. Team Visma Lisa Bike Women. My YouTube, I mean, yeah, there's not so many vlogs out, but I keep meaning to do some and I will do some eventually. So yeah, if you subscribe there, you may get some new content in the next few weeks. Yeah, I'd say there's probably the best places.
Awesome. Well, the Instagram and everything will be like on screen right now. So people can take a look up if they're just listening to this, and see it. And then your YouTube will both be on screen right this point, but also it'll be in the show notes so people can easily see and just click away because you're already in YouTube. You might as well just click easily to Imogen's vlog, and I'll get the details from you shortly. All that's left for me to say is thank you so much and enjoy the rest of your time in Girona.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, thank you. And yeah, speak to you in a bit.
Well done for making it all the way through. I hope you really enjoyed the chat we had. It was always great to reconnect with a rider we've previously had on. And although there were some techie issues, because I guess the internet wasn't really collaborating with us that day, it was great to have a chat with Imogen, and hopefully you've learnt a bit more about her. Please do make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all those good things that help us. And until next time, we'll see you around.